Hello, my dear friends. This is YouTube channel Adam Fusman, and as you know, my name is not Adam. My name is Ruslan Kusniyarov, and right now I have a pleasure talking with famous Roland Ligtenberg. How to say co-founder, founder,
co-founder
of the Housecall Pro.
Yeah.
I just Google your name, Ligtenberg.
So if you say it in Dutch, it's Lichtenberg.
Lichtenberg, like
It's in Dutch. Yeah.
Dutch.
Uh-huh.
So I type it, and I've seen my video 6 years ago when you and Annette, I've been proudly talking about my business to you guys.
A long time.
6 years ago, and
Yeah.
I was just like watched maybe for 30-40 seconds, and I'm like, I was very proud of myself sitting in the garage in the back of the house we rented for $1,000, and I'm like, it was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. 6 years feels like an eternity. And then you were at the mastermind. We did a mastermind in San Francisco.
Yes.
And we did a shot from the stage, I think backwards there. I forget what venue it was, because we
But
did so many
the
masterminds.
first mastermind, I believe, was in Austin, Texas.
Yes, that's right.
That's
the first one. Well, we've had mini ones, but that was like
the biggest
one
and
since then. Yep.
it was
Yep.
very nice to see all of you. I don't know, it was 2018.
Yeah, 2018, I think. Yep, that's right.
2018.
This is when we started. 2018.
And
yep.
I've got something from you, like you give me something, piece of like Housecall Pro. How it's called? Housecall Pro Super.
Yeah, it's a Super Pro certificate. That's
Super
right.
Pro certificate.
That's right.
And something else.
Yeah.
And it was like my first of kind of conference
Yeah.
in my days in the United States, because that days I've been in the United States only like 2.5 years or something.
Yeah.
And right now a lot of changes happened.
Yeah. I mean, your business is nuts. I mean, what you've built out in just this short time period, spectrally speaking, it's like, it's wild.
Because of the Housecall Pro. because when I started, as you maybe don't remember, I just like started the business without any thought. What is that?
Well, it was appliance first.
It was appliance
Right.
first, and the first 6 months or 8 I've been running without any CRM system. And that days the Housecall Pro was, how old is it? Like
A couple years. Yeah. We launched it in 2015, so it must have been.
2015.
Yeah.
Like 2.5 years maybe.
It's probably just a calendar and a credit card swiper at that point.
No,
It was a little more.
It was huge actually. For me, it was like a holy smoke. This is a whole automation of the business.
That's right.
That days.
Back then. Yeah.
And it's like it changed a lot. I can put my technicians, my dispatchers.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't have anything
Assign
like
the jobs.
IP telephony or something like that.
Yeah, no VoIP, yeah.
And what we have now is just like
I mean, we were a tiny business back then too, back then. In 2018, maybe a couple hundred employees.
it was 2017.
2017, yeah, so maybe just over 100 employees back then.
And someone calling me and like, do you want to try to our
Our sales team, just pick up
And
the phone.
I was just looking for something.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Maybe it was analytics by Facebook or something, or the Google or my
Retargeting pixel?
my Android was listening.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I know I need it.
Yeah, and he pushed me like, okay, I've got it, and it was very nice that days.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot. I believe, bring the company to the almost, I don't know, $17 million per year.
Wow.
With Housecall Pro.
Wow.
And right now we have like 50 locations of our franchise network.
All across the US.
And I would say it's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know, you're gonna tell me how tough to develop the CRM system and everything. Everybody gonna push you. We need this, we need this, we need this.
Yeah.
I was watching it right now, one of your short video when people asking something, you're trying to implement it, then testing, and then push to the mass audience,
Yep.
MA.
Yep, totally.
MA stage.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, it's like, how many people right now you have? I mean, in the team?
So, I mean, we have a couple thousand employees now.
Couple thousand.
So, and all across kind of the world at this point, still predominantly US. Our headquarters shifted from San Diego to Denver, but we're a remote company. We like to get in person when we can on a quarterly basis, or some teams will have offsites and things like that. But, you know, we truly are kind of all over the place. But I think a big change happened, you know, when COVID hit. We went from only being able to kind of be in San Diego to we could hire anywhere. And all of a sudden, the talent you can hire when you think about the whole world is so much greater than just like one small city. Even though someone would say, well, San Diego's 3 million people. It's a massive city. Sure, it's a big city, but it's constrictive, right? When you think about it. And so, you know, COVID really blew up our business in a really good way, because I think, you know, a lot of homeowners realized how valuable their homes were when they started being forced to spend time in their homes. And I think that's when people are like, oh, I should upgrade my HVAC because it's always hot here. Now I'm running it all day long. You know, usually it would, you know, the Nest thermostat would set it to away, you know, and then come back and you try to cool it down. I think same with plumbing too, but even just upgrading things, you know, at the home. And I think COVID really kind of brought that back to life. And it also made people realize how few great home service companies there are relative to the demand for great home service companies. And so I think that's where, you know, for people in the trades, being able to upgrade their systems, be more efficient, handle that workload, it was really good for us. We were in the right place at the right time. And we had matured enough as a company to be able to handle a lot of that. And there's growing pains with everything, clearly. But I think that was a really interesting and great time for our business, despite how bad, you know, COVID was just for the world in general. But for home services, very resilient.
You've seen all the numbers that days, right?
Oh yeah.
Like what's going on?
Yeah.
April 2020, go down everything. Yeah. Everybody scares to invite anybody to the house.
No one in the home.
Yeah. And then,
boom. Yeah. It
just the wall, right? Like what's going on? We need something to do. We're gonna die this summer, or or like our restroom, like a toilet not flushing.
Well, I think people started thinking too about just their lives in general, and like, you know, let's you know, upgrade the place where we're living. But also home services, I think, general got a really big boost on being classified as an essential service, and it seems like a no-brainer looking back now, you know. But like, we need a roof over our heads, we need water, we need electricity. And a lot of places in the US, you have to have HVAC to survive because it's too hot, right?
And what's going on right now, the people start maybe 1.5, 2 years ago starting to switch back to the offices, and commercial
backup. Yep.
Yeah. It's like there was all the time money there.
Yeah.
There was just a switching to the residential and
commercial
then
swap.
And then just like a changing overall. Do you have something like a statistic and analytics about it too?
Oh yeah, we love to look at those things just internally, because Housecall Pro, we're able to see all the jobs that happen by trade, by geography. And so clearly COVID was something really interesting to see, and certain trades worse than others, you know, because certain trades were more essential than other ones, which were more nice to have, not need to have. And so like, you know, cleaning companies struggled for a long time because, you know, inviting someone into your home all the time to do the cleaning, that was a lot. But certain cleaning businesses took off because businesses required it, because there's still businesses that had to operate, right? And so you could see that shift. The other interesting thing too that we constantly look at is just weather. So weather is a huge predictor of what's happening in the general economy, but mild summers across the entire US this year, you know, pretty mellow. California for sure. California's been super chill. Not like cool chill, but chilly for summertime.
Yeah, we've been prepared for this summer very well, but nothing happened. Like, okay.
No big spike.
No big spike, which is kind of fine, because it's just give us a knowledge.
Yes.
Anything can happen.
Yep.
COVID, weather,
whatever it is,
cataclysms or anything like that can happen, and it will have very big impact to the business.
It does. Yep.
But we kind of didn't grow for revenue this year that much in our main location in San Jose, but because we have kind of mathematical progression with franchisees.
Yep.
We have just growing in revenue because they're just taking the place by numbers of the amount of the franchise.
And they're just getting started too, you know, in some locations. So they've got a lot to build up, and you can get a lot of, I call it maybe easy wins and things. If you put the systems in place, the marketing in place, efficiencies in place, operations in place, you know, that $0 to $5 million a year is that sweet spot where you can kind of grow. What do you think? What do you see? Yeah, what do you see? I'm curious.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I thought when I was started to think about the franchise, it should be easy. It's like when you starting something you never done before.
Yeah.
You
have to be a little naive, a little stupid.
Very stupid. It was hard to implement all the documentation.
Yeah.
Even in the legal stuff.
Yep.
Then attract people.
That are good.
Even to sell the first franchise location, because it's like, who's gonna buy your franchise?
Yeah.
Who cares what you've done?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? And that all the things you have to work on yourself or myself to just because it's like a wall and another wall, and right now we have like another wall because if you have 50 people or like more than 50 people franchise partners, it is different demand.
How do you support them all?
Requirements.
Yeah.
It's like you promised this, you promised this, you promised this. It's like a Housecall Pro as well. You promised like a lot of things, but when they gonna happen?
Yeah.
One day.
It'll come. Yeah.
It's like the people, because we started to sell the franchise for $8,000.
So you got a lot of demand because that's cheap.
No.
Really?
Because the value was low too.
So you bumped the price and then all of a sudden you got more.
But then it's like increased to $12,000 after like a couple years, and then right now it's $24,000. We have a lower demand, but we understand what kind of people should be on our franchise network.
Yep.
We have experience and we went through the crap ourselves, and it's harder in my perspective because it's not employees.
Yeah. They're another third party. Yeah.
You cannot just fire the guy.
Yep.
Or you have to just talk with him, if he does his own opinion, you have to work with him to avoid his opinion or just to find a compromise.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to be just like a network of the branches, it's going to be harder to implement, but
it's like a partnership. You know, you really, you truly have to work on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for example, if Housecall Pro will have like a lot of partners and everybody, it will just like very shaky place to work with. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm interested because in every interview I'm asking the people I'm interviewing, how did you get here? From where did you born, and where you went through the whole steps like education, childhood?
Oh, this is a great question. So maybe not many people know, but I was born in Switzerland, which is where I was born. Switzerland.
Do you know German?
No. Both my parents are Dutch, so I know Dutch. And so I grew up ESL. So maybe a lot of people don't know what that means. English as a second language.
Yes.
Right.
So immigrant.
Immigrant. Yep.
How old you were?
3.
3 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been here almost all of my life.
Like my boy, the elder guy.
Oh, so he came around 3. So you came with him over here. Yeah.
He might be gonna be another Lichtenberg.
Yeah, Lichtenberg, exactly. That's right. So came here when I was young. We lived in New Jersey. My dad was at Bell Labs there at that point in time.
What did he?
Bell Labs, which is it's kind of where all the innovation came from in the 80s. Well, even before that. And so, he had an opportunity to start a company in Silicon Valley, so we moved to Silicon Valley. So I grew up in Silicon Valley, in Palo Alto, or there around. Moved around a bunch. Went to school in San Diego, and
did you move to San Diego with your parents?
No, I went by myself. I went to San Diego, and at a certain point in time, I decided to start a scuba diving business. So I took some of the money that made playing poker during my free time and started a dive business in Cabo San Lucas. So I moved to Mexico.
So you made your first money playing poker?
I made money in a lot of different ways, but that's where I made some real money.
From poker?
And from poker, yeah. This was back
Where did you play?
online. Party Poker was the site, Full Tilt Party Poker. And so just did that while going to school. And then halfway through school decided to start a diving business, because I loved diving. I loved the water. I wasn't an instructor or a dive master or anything. I just thought that'd be.
How old you were then?
21.
21?
21,
Okay.
yeah, so 21. So I took a little break from school, told the dean, hey, I'd be
Like
back.
high school? Or
College at this point.
Okay.
College at this point. So University of California, San Diego, UCSD. And yeah, so started a dive business.
So you break your education at some point.
Yep.
Went to the
Mexico.
to start your own business.
Yeah.
With the money you earned by playing
Poker. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I don't know, like what? What? Some other funding sources too, but in Cabo San Lucas, started a dive company there and in San Jose del Cabo, and ran a shop there for almost 4 years. And then toward the end, I would go back and forth. So I'd work in the week in Cabo, and I'd go back and do some schooling or do midterms and tests, and then go back and work and kind of go back and forth. So that was my first service business, technically, right? First service business. And then toward the end of college, so I sold that business back to my partner down there, started a painting business. And there's a company called College Works, which recruits college kids to how to do painting businesses, like painting homes, residential painting. I thought that was cool until I realized what percentage revenue they charged of gross. So kind of went off on my own a little bit and did that. And that kind of paid the rest of the bills kind of through college there. And then after that, just did a whole bunch of random other businesses. Finally landed at Qualcomm, which is, for those that don't know, it's probably one of the biggest IP. But
did you pay for your college yourself?
Yeah.
Completely?
Not completely. A combination of my parents, which said, "Hey, if you come back from Mexico, we'll pay the rest of college."
And what was your education for,
economics?
Okay.
Economics, but really, it was just the thing that came the easiest because it was part math and part just logic and theory, which means you don't really have to study if you work through any problem, which was nice for me because I didn't really go to class very often.
But it was like a day education.
Yeah.
You had to go to the college, university every day.
Yeah, technically.
But instead of this, you've been in Mexico providing the services for scuba diving.
Yeah, exactly.
For how much you sold your business then?
Oh, break even. So if I look at how much money went in and how much came out, made $0 total over the period of time. But
it was for 4 years.
Yeah.
You've been in the university and running the same time the business.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And kind of going back and forth. And the fun part was just the amount of learning, learning how to speak Spanish, learning how to do deals with hotels, learning how to run operations, learning how to forecast demand, learning how to do marketing, running all of the hats.
I believe the scuba diving is very dependent on the weather.
Very weather dependent, very seasonal, very tourist dependent. Yeah, a lot. That within itself is its own mini college course. You learn so much through there. But yeah, I guess I was always entrepreneurial. Always doing different things throughout my entire life.
Your education did help you a little bit to understand what's going on, or it's you help more to the education yourself?
I think it's more self-education. Yeah, I think it's very valuable for some people for some degrees and some things, especially if you go on for a later education. But undergrad is more kind of figuring yourself out and learning some things. But
you graduated and
yeah. So then my parents said, hey, if you come back, we'll pay for the rest of, the college education, which at a UC was generous. So came back, sold the business.
Did your parents got their education in Switzerland?
So my dad did his PhD in Switzerland, and my mom did her education primarily in the Netherlands. But my mom is a ceramic artist, and so that's been her passion and what she's done her whole life. And then my dad always worked in technology, always doing all kinds of things. And so
very talented family.
I'm lucky, yeah, for sure, with my family. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very lucky. But we immigrated with nothing, very little, and built some amazing things in the way, which I think is so much easier to do in America than any other country in the world. I think it's amazing to be here, to be able to do that. If you look at other countries, just...
How old are you now?
I am now 41.
41?
41.
I thought you were young.
41, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you finished the college, starting your painting business. And what after? How long did you run this painting?
Just a couple summers. So I just go knock doors. And then I just built a team, a crew, off of Craigslist.
So you yourself knock the doors and offer the services?
Yep. I would just go door to door.
It was like a whole, 15 years ago, maybe?
Yeah. So this is back in, 2007 or 2006 or something, somewhere around there, 2007, 2006. Almost 20 years now at this point. But anyways, I'd go knock doors. And I'd point out, hey, did you notice the cracking on the fascia, or did you notice this thing? I can just write you up a quote right now. I'll leave it with you and you and your husband discuss, and I'll come back tomorrow. Or if you pay me a deposit today, because I'm gonna be in the area, next week I'll give you a 10% discount.
Even like a few years ago, I've seen these guys still knocking the doors.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you really doing the business this way?
Yes. Yeah.
Like a holy smoke.
Yeah, and this is real money. I mean, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars a college kid can make.
No, I understand, but it's just like a very obsolete the style of the marketing.
Isn't it crazy? But it works, and I think part of it works because if a college kid knocks on your door and they're like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing for my summer work," you get the people that are like, "Okay, yeah, I can get a pretty good deal, and I'm supporting a college kid, and why not? Why not get some bids on the painting?" And in San Diego, it's so much sun, so there's so much sun damage all the time. And a lot of the tract homes and all those things are always cracking. So it was a good business. But it taught me just a lot about just selling and building rapport really quickly.
Did you run it like all on the paper?
All on paper, yeah. All on paper.
Invoices like a...
Yeah, invoices, paper.
Blue line.
Yeah.
Stupid invoices.
Back then I built a really cool Excel template. So I just had an Excel template where I punch in some numbers, and so I had my linear feet, square feet calculators, and bilinear square feet materials and all the things, and labor hours and labor rates. So I built out a little system in Excel, which is just a whole bunch of formulas back then, and it was really Google Calendar, which was like the underlying thing back then, and Gmail. So those were kind of the modes. But yeah, I still collected all checks, all checks from homeowners,
and then you said Qualcomm.
Yeah, well, so I graduated. 2008 was a really hard time in the job market. So that's when I graduated. So I started a consulting business. I started working for other SMBs, and I told them, hey, you don't have to pay me anything. I just want a percentage of your revenue if I grow it. So you set the target, and I just want a percentage. I'll work for you for free if it doesn't work. So I just started working for free for a bunch of SMBs. I build their websites, their marketing.
Like how? It's like when some people telling like this, and right now some people like saying, you know what, you didn't pay me for two hours extra this day. I'm gonna sue you or something.
Yeah, people are crazy like that.
Yeah, seriously?
Yeah.
And when I've heard something like that, I'm like, it's like labor law didn't work that time, right?
I think back then too, 2008, everyone was like, what is going on? Like it was seriously really difficult in the job market. But I knew I had skills to make impacts wherever it was. And so it's just betting on yourself, which I think is always a great strategy. I mean, you going back to school, getting your degrees, all these things, is you betting on yourself. You getting contractors licenses in different states where you don't even live, right? Like you're all betting on yourself. So I think people that get to a certain level just continue to roll the dice on themselves over and over again. And look, I could have made nothing, but the reality is like, I knew I always had other skills that I could monetize and charge for. So I always had a safety net in that sense. And I lived very frugally. So I didn't need a lot of money. Definitely not back then. I could live on nothing pretty much, you know, so there was no risk.
It was in San Diego.
In San Diego, yeah. And so did that. That worked pretty well. Then I got into, I love electronic music. So back then it wasn't so popular still. So I was bringing different DJs to San Diego, to the nightclubs. So I'd do some promoting and bring DJs in and make a percentage of alcohol sales and those fun things. And then I did a conference, and San Diego Music and Technology Conference. And then from there, Qualcomm was one of my sponsors, and I saw a job posting for this really neat team inside of Qualcomm Labs. Qualcomm's a massive, massive company, right? And Qualcomm Labs is where they take really cool stuff that comes from the R&D department, and they try to make some product from it. So that's where I met my current co-founders. They all worked at Qualcomm. And so I'd been Qualcomm for a couple of years, and then decided to go build Housecall. And Housecall was kind of the predecessor to Housecall Pro. And if you look online, you can still Google it. If you go Google Housecall Elf, you can see some funny clips. But back then it was, could we build something that was like Uber for home services? So how do we make it really easy for a homeowner to connect with a trusted local pro? That was the original premise. Sounds great on paper, but moving someone from point A to point B is pretty like straightforward. Kind of like buying a pizza or buying a haircut. It's gonna be pretty much the same. But home services, someone can say like, my AC doesn't cool. I don't know, is it a compressor? Is it the load? Is it the refrigerant? Is it it could be like this huge list, right? How old is it? Does it need a full replacement? Do I need to put a part in it? So the scope could just be as simple as no cool, right? Like it's not cooling. But it could be $100 fix, $15,000 replace, full air duct, everything, you know, 25K. So the scope can be so large. So in home services, as we were building this, we had to track both the homeowner and the great pros. And then what we found out as we were building that is that there were no good tools for pros out there to run their business from their phone. And that's where we're like, ooh, so there's Housecall for the homeowners and Housecall Pro for pros. And so that's what we focused on, Housecall Pro. And then the homeowner thing is just dead. Like that was a failed pivot, a failed experiment.
So the application still exists for just the homeowners, I think.
It does. I think we just took it down like a little while ago.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it used to be there still. It shouldn't still be there, but it may be. If you had it installed on your phone, it's probably there. But it doesn't do anything. It's kind of like, I kind of call it like the appendix, you know? Like you can live without it. No one knows what it's for. It's still there. Yeah. Maybe from evolution, you know, when we used to eat berries or something. Yeah. There was a purpose for it, but not anymore. And so 2015 is when we officially really pushed Housecall Pro out, January 2015. And so that's kind of, now we'll get up to, 10 years soon here. It's crazy.
So how many people was there, like co-founders?
So there are 5 co-founders.
Okay.
5 co-founders, and really, so Ian was the CEO, product co-founder, and then 3 technical co-founders, Adam, Chris, and Reza, and then myself.
You've been all the time like the face of the Housecall Pro, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not. Everyone thinks so. He's the CEO.
No. I mean, you are the guy who all the time. Let's do podcast. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay, Facebook, the whole group with all your wives,
the members,
the members, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing, and I very appreciate for your all the time open mind, like all the time you are answering for anything.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like, if someone from other companies would do that. Because I understand the Housecall Pro is a very big company.
Yeah.
And but you still the same attitude as maybe like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like Adam anything you need, like just text me or whatever.
Yeah.
This is why I just text to the Roland, and he said, yeah, let's do podcast, no problem.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I was like, but you got to come up here. And he's like, all right, I'll drive. But it's just like, I think for me, having a really big luck surface area is really important. A lot of people will be like, the best skill you can learn is to say no. Say no. Be very selective with your time. And I think that applies to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The reverse applies for me. I say yes to a lot of things, and most things don't work out, but the things that do work out in magnitudes that are greater than you can imagine. So what that means is, like, even if you're only right 1 in 100 times, if the one time you're right, it's a 10,000% explosion or whatever it is, it's fine to fail 99 times. It doesn't matter. But you can only get there with a really big luck surface area, which is working on something really cool and telling a lot of people about it. And somehow you just get
like
lucky.
The people getting connected and something started to work out, right?
Yeah.
It's like the movie, Always Say Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Yes, man.
Yes, man.
Yeah. But it's true, because I think, for some, you do have to be selective with your time. So I'm not saying yes to like all the things. They have to make some level of sense. And as I get older and wiser, I know which things are more likely to work and not. But in the beginning, when you're young, if you're a young entrepreneur, say yes to all the things, go to all the things, even if they seem silly, go to all the events you can, even if they're a small event. You're always going to find like-minded people there. And when you're around those types of people, they will go off and do interesting things with their lives as well, right? And now all of a sudden, you never know when you can help each other, right? And things will just connect the dots. And as you get older, that only compounds over time. So the younger you start, the bigger advantage you have. So I feel like unconsciously and unknowingly, I started that really early, but it happens to work really well for the things that, I do, and business development, building community, building networks, and just being really open to lots of things, because you never know when things just hit right. And I think the second piece of thing is just, you can't always do things because you expect something else to be done for you. You just have to do, and then at some point, maybe it will return, maybe it won't. But if you just do to do, people will remember that, and somehow it'll find its way back to you. And some call it karma, some call it luck, and some call it network effects. There's so many different names for it. Some call it religion.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what religion
Someone
exists.
call it just a mission.
It could be mission. Yeah, totally.
It's like I'm doing these videos, and I'm like, sometimes I'm thinking, what the heck I am doing?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna die if these videos can be watched by my kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe someone gonna help. Maybe someone gonna write the book or something like that. And it's like, why not?
You know what's fun though? Now you can ask AI all kinds of stuff, because AI sees all of the things.
Yeah.
And so, everything that's out there publicly, out into the world, now creates a fingerprint for yourself, for your life, for all these things. And I think, who knows what may happen down the road, but I think those things are all important for increasing that luck surface area. And if anything else, if my daughter ever wants to learn more about who I was when I was younger, and she can see a podcast like this, or she can see something I wrote, or whatever it is, that's amazing.
This is why I came myself, because I don't like to. I watch the podcast, but I do like when someone sitting in the front of the other person, and they like interacting physically, not only like a web camera to web camera.
Zoom to Zoom, yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I'm like, because some people like asking me for some of the interviews or something, I said, let's do it physically, please.
Yeah.
Because I hate to sit in the office. I want to go somewhere, see you face to face, like go somewhere to change the location.
Yeah.
Just
It's a cool setup, and I think being able to do stuff in person too. I don't know. It's sometimes often easier too, because you can have a longer conversation and then edit it down to like the really neat parts or not. And I think for the Super Pro podcast that I do everything Zoom to Zoom, because I'm interviewing people all across the U.S. And the point isn't to get Housecall Pro out there to really drive acquisition for our business. The point is hopefully someone that's like an electrician watches another electrician who's a successful super pro and gets like one little piece of wisdom, or goes like, oh yeah, I should have done this in my business or that. And like if all those things kind of come together, it works great. And then also you get to learn a lot. And I think not enough people talk to their customers, and so that's something that you'll see happens in our community. And what you mentioned is like, oh, you're commenting on stuff. Even now, how big you are, you're still commenting on things. It's because if you stay close to the customer, our mission is to champion our pro to success. So we know if our pro is successful, we'll be successful. But like, we have to focus on making them successful. All the rest will work, no problem. I don't even think that's something we made up. That's maybe Rockefeller. I forget who said the quote, which is like, if you help enough people find success, you will find success. Similar mission.
Easy mission.
It's an easy mission.
Easy to understand.
Easy to understand.
Like you are not chasing your success, you're chasing the success for other people.
It works. And so now we have this sort of other thing we're working on, which is champion the trades, which is like, how can we champion the trades? Because if the trades are being championed, by default, our pros will find success when the trades are elevated, which is what we have now, on our hats, is champion the trades.
Yeah. I've seen on the few podcasts as well. I mean, in the Leap Lives.
Yeah.
Did you have any like challenges during the running the Housecall Pro?
No, everything was so easy, like just like butter.
No, it wasn't easy.
No, super easy. No, I mean, it's constantly challenges, and the challenges evolve and change over time because now you're operating at such a different scale, and
it's like a $1 million problem.
Yeah.
And $1 billion problem.
And the $1 billion problem, and then tens of billions. And so it's like one of those things that just it grows. But I think inevitably in every startup, you have different peaks and troughs and things. But I think one of our core values at Housecall Pro is enjoy the journey. And so what enjoy the journey means is like we're only on this planet for a certain amount of time. And if you're not really liking what you're doing, don't be here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What it also means is that oftentimes the things that are the hardest or the worst turn out to be the best stories as you grow older, right? And so not running away from those things, but running at them, it helps change kind of how you approach problems. And so, a tip for those that are listening, doing retrospectives in work, but also in your own life is really important. And what that means is like, as you encounter something, as something happens, get everyone back together and say like, what happened? How did this happen? How could we do better? What do we plan to do in the future so this doesn't happen again? You can apply this to your personal life too. Hey, this happened. And you look back at it and what would you have done knowing what you know now? And not enough people, they just go into the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So they don't build that learning. And so I think there is no real failure, but there's only failure to learn, which means if something happens, learn from it, try to make it not happen again.
Experience.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah.
If you don't learn from it, then you're gonna make that same mistake again. And then that second failure, that's a true failure because you could have not failed had you learned. So it sounds like a big cliche, but doing those retrospectives through those hard times, because there have been so many in this journey, helps you not make them in the future or change it so it has some different outcome if it happens again down in the future. You can call that evolution, I guess. But you can do that on a personal and a business level, and it's important to do, whether you're a home service business, a software business where you run real iterations and retrospectives, which is called the agile methodology. But it works no matter what.
So in terms of the growing yourself in 12 years, how did you evaluate how did you grow?
Like as a person or as a business or
person, business?
I mean, that's a huge question.
Did you did you get what did you want? Or you didn't expect all outcomes you have right now?
Definitely did not expect the outcome we have right now. Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
And definitely infinitely lucky, right? Because it's definitely, everyone will be like, I planned it and we strategized and we made it happen. And there's very much truth to that. But there's also very big luck components too that are out of your control, or things that where you just happen to be the right place at the right time. And so I think, a lot of people are like, well, with AI, can't they just vibe code Housecall Pro now?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
You think? Like, you really think it's possible? Like, well, look, my cousin made this on Lovable. Look at this, they made it in 1 hour. It's like,
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
It's like many people texting me the messages like, why you are not just develop your own CRM system and not stop paying these developers company. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I worked before back in Russia in IT companies and developing the websites and the high-load systems. It's tough.
It's really tough.
And I'm like, I don't want to get back to the IT anymore, because even if I'm in Silicon Valley and I know how impactful all the things happening in the world by using the amazing applications, I don't want to do that. Because I want to do the small thing to make few, maybe hundreds people happy. And maybe my impact for this world gonna be enough. I understand how impactful the Housecall Pro, because you mentioned the numbers on your thing on the computer. And it's like just life-changing things for the million people. Not only like for the contractors, but for the people who are getting these services as well.
I mean, 1 in 3 homes have been serviced by our pros. 99% of all zip codes have our pros servicing them. So if you think about that, like 1 in 3 homes is crazy. Over 100 million jobs, tens of billions of dollars worth of work being done. That's like a lot of jobs. Like if you can't even think how many jobs.
It's just like Uber, right, as you mentioned, but just with more revenue, I think. Just like I don't know how many times bigger revenue, because the checks, like $20-$30 for the one Uber ride,
and versus an average, $500 or $1,000, check per service ticket, and so it's just, it's a big part of the economy that people don't realize just how big it is. But if you think of what a basic human needs, all the home services fall into the basic home services bucket. So
it's like the back days, maybe a year ago, I've seen like plumbers are the next billionaires or something. The post happened in Forbes.
Oh yeah, there was one that came out. Yeah.
It's like, okay, or like HVAC contractors, electrical and plumber contractors going to be the next billionaires.
Yeah.
And all these guys who were making 200 million, and you've maybe heard about the Tony Mello, who's making the 1 billion revenue company in a year, and I'm like, this is huge.
It's so big. Yeah.
And
I think what's interesting about software is that it's done at such a high margin, and with AI, it's going to be really interesting, because it's not just like a system of record, but it's a system of action. And AI is taking over what normally you would have had to pay a human to do. And software makes humans more efficient, so a human can do more things. AI can replace some of the things, so humans can work on things that are even more impactful. But I think what's really neat and what we love and just is so interesting about this space is our pros have standing jobs. They also have some seated jobs. The seated jobs are very good for AI. Scheduling, dispatching, reporting, accounting, analyst. It'll probably be a little while before Elon's robots are crawling into crawl spaces and doing things and crawling in the attic. It'll be a long time. A human body is like a whole nother thing that's so
much flexible,
precisely engineered by so many years of evolution, that I feel like when we take a look at that, AI is really good at knowing a lot of things. And so what better place than like Housecall Pro, where there's so much data on an individual, user account. So one company, but then also Housecall Pro, we have the learnings of all of these accounts that then we can use to help this business as well. So we think about things in the future, which is pricing that's suggested based upon location. There's so many data points that all live inside of there. And so I feel like the future, at least for Housecall Pro as I see it, is we don't just necessarily want to grow our company's headcounts. So, have a 50-person HVAC company, that's cool. But what if you had a 20-person HVAC company that does the same amount as a 50-person HVAC company at 1/3 the cost? Wow, look at like how that looks like, in the future. And so I think that's where, from Housecall Pro angle, we really believe in building out different AI employees that work on different parts of the business, so the humans can focus on the things that are truly good, unique, and novel, and drive the most value for the business versus entering paperwork, entering expense reports, doing supply ordering, trying to figure out the optimal dispatch route. Like all those things are math problems and things that AI with all of its knowledge can figure out much better than a human can.
Do you think you will have in the end of the AI journey the product as Alexa or something like that? Mm-hmm. Call me the plumbing guy because something wrong with my toilet. Mm-hmm. By internal information of the Housecall Pro, the better call this particular contractor because he's doing the best service, affordable prices, and blah blah blah, all the things.
Yeah, I think we've always done really great at Housecall Pro at improving the contractor homeowner connection through the texting, the on my way texting, the great looking invoices, very just clean, not cluttered, no muck, great proposals, all these pieces so that the contractor can focus on doing the work and the diagnosing and building a relationship with the homeowner, and all the rest looks really professional and nice. So I think AI is only going to make that much better because what time are you available? Oh, 9 to 10. Or no, my kid has karate, 10 to 9. Oh, but what about me? Oh, well, I don't know. The right service technician, this guy. But like all that back and forth, just let two agents do that, right? If you had a personal assistant and I had a personal assistant, just let them figure out a time. And then we get to enjoy just this. And we don't have to worry about like that part, the scheduling or like the invoicing or like all these different parts. So I think AI at the end of it is going to allow our pros to focus on what they do best and what they really want to work on. And if there's something they really enjoy, if someone really loves doing accounting and balancing a ledger and doing all this kind of stuff, then sure, they can do that. They don't have to have that AI employee. They get to choose who they want to hire. They can hire different pieces.
I would hire $3,000 accountant instead of the $150 AI.
Totally. Yeah. It's and the fun thing about AI too is that it's getting progressively smarter and smarter. Right now, it's a pretty smart 12th grader. It's going to be really good at some tasks, not so good in the others. But in just the last couple of years, you've seen how much it's progressed. It's insane. Like, think what's going to happen in the next just couple of years.
Yes.
And so I think that's where AI is at a really amazing place where, Housecall Pro, we just have so much data that we can help our pros better their businesses. And it's based on what we know about them as a business, and then all of the other things as well. And so I think that's what, you're either a part of Housecall Pro or you're not, and you're going to be at a disadvantage, a severe disadvantage, because you have to do all these manual things. You have to make all these guesses, all these other things versus, if you're using Housecall Pro, you get all this assistance at a fraction of what humans would potentially cost. So I think it's not about replacing people. It's just about making the existing people way better, way more capable, being able to do way more jobs than they normally would have.
But don't you think one day we're going to have the situation when the human labor is going to be very cheap because of that?
I'm not quite so sure.
I mean, it's like when the robots, it's already going to be here in some places. It's like they will open your door, say, "Hi, Roland, today you're very good," like something, or bring your soda, or
just have them do all the tasks. I guess at the end of the day, humans will probably gravitate towards what makes them the happiest and most fulfilled, and so human time would be filled by those things and less of the other things. And so
because yesterday, for example, I rode first 2 rides in Tesla Robotaxi. The guy's still there, but he didn't touch the steering wheel at all. And the cost was like for 10-minute ride, $5.67. In the same time, the Uber ride was costing me the same ride for $20.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And Waymo too, if you're up in SF.
I've read on the Waymo as well. There was no any, but it's like it's like a happening. It's happening, and the people get scared. Like, who gonna be the next truck drivers?
Maybe,
because it's huge industry. There's a lot of people.
Yep.
and it's going to be very huge impact on them.
Yep. Yep.
It's need to like rebuild a lot of infrastructure for all these robotic technologies. Maybe not, I don't know, depends on the machine learning things, how maybe it's going to do the same or better things, right?
It may be, and I think ultimately, giving people the opportunity to find other things to do that they're particularly good at, or leveraging the skills that they have, or training models, or operating trucks remotely. You see all kinds of things like that starting to happen already.
I'm visited this year CES, Consumer Electronics Show. There was not much the robots, but I'm going to visit the next year as well
And see.
And I'm gonna, because I went the first time this year to this show, and I'm like, I have to be here for the every year, because it's very interesting what's going on and what's gonna happen next actually year in consumer market.
Yep.
Because everything what they show, it's gonna just happen maybe in 6, 8, 10 months.
Yep.
In the market, they're gonna sell all this product to the mass market.
Yep.
And anyway, you have like stupid circle robot for vacuum cleaner.
The Roomba.
Robot. Yeah. Today I've seen the robot who bringing the robot from first floor to the second floor on the upstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Walking up it.
It's like not walking. It's just like a.
It's like a track or something.
Like a tank.
Yeah.
The small robot goes inside, and they go together to the upstairs.
And then drops it off.
Yeah. And because the cleaning, for example, the operation, it's kind of the simple, right? Mm-hmm. And you mentioned as a home services, maybe they will be the first who going to be impacted.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, standing jobs less so, but I think, ultimately things that are highly repetitive and more simple are naturally going to be great targets.
For example, like one machine driving by AI came to your house, few robots came out, cleaned the whole house.
It could be the future. I don't know.
I mean, it's just like the things what's happening right now, it's kind of sensible. It can happen maybe in next 2-3 years already.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to continue seeing improvement, and I think still by definition, human interaction with other humans is going to be more novelty, right? And people will pay for experiences and things. And I think at the end of the day, there will always be a need for home services. I think there's, of all the industries, if you're like, oh man, if you're an accountant right now, I don't know, right? if you're a lawyer, like, oh my gosh, like why even go to law school at this point, or even doctors. But I still feel like the standing jobs are going to be insulated for long enough, if not forever, in many degrees. You're still trusting someone else, right? That human interaction, people will pay for that.
Empathy.
Always. Totally.
Yeah.
Because they know what it's like to be in a hot room with no AC, and their kid is losing their mind. You know what I mean?
Even because this is United States and very conservative place as well. Mm-hmm. Still like checks.
Mm-hmm. And, huge. Doesn't need to be.
A lot of all obsolete thing going on because the people just trust people.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, okay, the check looks good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll leave. There you go.
Pay.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And it's just the digits on the bottom, by the way, right? It's like bank account and routing number is what it is. So we'll see how that all ends up. But I think no matter what, as we have the opportunity to, is just if we can keep championing our pros to success, and if there's interesting, better ways to do it, AI being a huge, really big lever that we can help them with, we're gonna push that as hard as we can.
Maybe you have seen the lawn movers.
Like that are the robotic lawnmowers?
Robotic. Mm-hmm. The same thing, the guys who like running the lawn, all the like cleaning, moving the
business. Yeah.
The business, they are using these machines already.
Yep.
They just like putting to the thing and they
charge it, let it go,
and it's doing something even.
Yeah.
Doing back and forth,
a
couple hours, and it's like the whole field is clean.
Done. Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. I want one of those for my lawn.
And the same thing with agriculture industry.
Yeah.
Because you're touching it like with your vineyards.
Yep.
Do you use something like already, or you?
I don't, but there's some really cool technology that's out there. Monarch tractor, it's building effectively, EV tractors that are self-driving, right? That don't have to be around all the chemicals and can do things. Same with robotic weeders, right? That can either zap or manually identify what are good things to keep and what are bad things to get rid of. And so I think those things are very manual, repetitive. Right, so like in your mind, what's manual repetitive?
Why did you decide to move to the Napa Valley?
I think
like a Silicon Valley guy moved to the San Diego, then back and forth with Mexico, and then decide to move to the Napa Valley.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yes, Sonoma County. I think
part of the dream.
I think we always enjoyed visiting this area, and growing up in Northern California, you get to experience seasons more than in San Diego. And we, both my wife and I, we love San Diego. I spent 20 years there, half my life. But I think up here you get to see the seasons more, and that's really nice. I think when you get older, you try to slow life down a little bit. So I think slowing it down a little bit when everything's always the same, perfect degree, 70 degrees all the time, living by the coast. Here, it can get freezing. It can be 100 degrees, and so you have more variance. You can see the colors change and all those things. But I think in general, where we live here is amazing because you're still very close to, a tech epicenter, of the world, but still get to experience a different lifestyle here, which is really nice.
Like a village lifestyle.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, more community. Smaller. Your people. Your neighbors. It's a little different.
Do you have a lot of trips to the Silicon Valley itself?
Yeah.
Really?
Conferences.
Oh, really?
Just meeting different companies, different founders, all kinds of things. Not very far. And with self-driving, makes it a little easier. But when I drive here, you'll see my truck. It's a Ford F-150, 1997. It's a great truck.
I didn't see it.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's just different, and I think
we're gonna say may I record it as well with camera the Roland chip guy.
Yeah, be like, what is that? What is that truck? Yeah, totally.
Simple guy.
Yeah.
Simple life.
Yeah. They're like, huh, interesting. But I think having a lot of diverse interests and diverse hobbies, I think there's really cool things you can take learnings from one and apply them to the other, and it just increases, that Lux surface area of life. Being able to see patterns and so I think this is we love this place here. We've been here now almost 5 years. And so it's a good little spot.
So the decision was when the COVID hit, or it was a prepared decision? But
no. COVID is what really opened up the opportunity to do this.
So okay, packing everything, and we're gonna go to live the Napa Valley.
Yeah.
I've seen the few houses, and we choose this, so let's go.
It's kind of how it happened. I think we'd always visited this area. And Sonoma County is a beautiful area, and it's a little more laid back than the Napa Valley area. But just Northern California is a little more naturey, and maybe a little more adventurous. And there's a lot of really neat things nearby, within driving distance and close to the airport, Tahoe, all of Northern California. It's the coast is beautiful here, just a little different. But I think. We love traveling. We go back to Europe every year, visit family, you can travel. I think you get the best of all the worlds. So I think as you get older, you slowly dial things in a little bit, figure out what makes you happy, and we're happy. So there we are.
This is main thing. You're chasing for your whole life to be happy.
That's right.
In terms of how often you work right now?
Like in terms of hours or hour output.
Yeah.
I think
What is your output?
Yeah, I think you always measure by output, but I think, earlier in the business, in the first 5, 6, 7 years, really you're doing 60, 80, 100-hour weeks. You're really living, breathing, this. And luckily my wife now, but girlfriend at the time, she was in law school. So she was really busy with, what she was doing. So I could be really busy with the business. And so that's probably one of the most important decisions to make is who you pick as your spouse. But having a very supportive spouse in the entrepreneurial journey is like probably the most critical thing, because you're going to be spending a lot of time in building something if you want it to be really big. And I think now it's less than in the beginning for sure. But as the business matures, you're slowly accumulating and finding people that are much better and smarter than you in many ways, and much better in operations, much better in finance, much better in engineering, much better in product. So I think that's a hard thing for a lot of business owners.
And you can afford it.
And afford it, yeah. Right? Because you have to find great people, and they also have to share in success when you're successful too. I think a lot of home service businesses would do really well if they had equity models and things like that as well. Profit share, things like that, definitely for like key individuals, parts of the company, because then everyone's moving towards the same goal and you can get alignment. And so I think, at this stage in the game with Housecall Pro, we've got a couple thousand employees. Everyone's bought into the mission. There's so many great people, and that's what keeps it rolling. And then I think as a leader, you have to lead by example, which is why often you'll see me participating in the community, or we're doing things, being close to the pros, because if they see you living the mission, they will live it themselves as well, because it wasn't their mission to begin with. Right?
When will happen the next big mastermind?
So that's a great question. Everyone always asks me this. Those 2018, 2019 years, we would do one every 2 months all across, the US, just like everywhere, boom, 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 boom. And I think, we acquired a coaching business, Conquer, and they do like an annual thing, and we're slowly transitioning that annual thing into a Housecall Pro annual event, in addition to having virtual events where we can attract, tens of thousands of pros. If you think about how much that would cost to like rent out a stadium and like all these things, you'd have to charge very high prices. And at Housecall Pro, we always want to be the affordable solution for the general home service population, which is $10 million and under businesses. And so the virtual allows us to kind of do that. And we're working on, probably in a month or so now, is this September? Yeah, in a month, we'll do a North Bay Area meetup. So hopefully we can get 50 to 100 pros in the North Bay.
Here?
Not here, but probably like Marin somewhere.
Like close to my area?
Yeah, like Sausalito, or like somewhere kind of neat, but
so we're gonna,
central.
You didn't announce it yet?
We haven't announced it yet because I haven't picked a date yet. But as soon as I announce it, you should definitely come. And if people happen to be listening to this by the time it ever gets published. But we're working on what does that meetup model look like again. We used to do meetups, and it's like 52 meetups every single month all across the US with different super pro leaders in all different areas. And those are more small, local. They would host it in a bar and share some tips, and then just...
Because right now it's needed, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, because it's like everything is settled.
Yes.
With all these online things, and
people don't want to do that. People also want to meet in person, and shake hands. The question is like, how scalable of a model is it, and those types of things. From like, who do you fly in? How many people from Housecall Pro are there? Versus, what's the goal of it? And really for us is, how can we make our existing customers...
It's like a very lying with your current motto, champion.
Yeah, champion the pros.
Yeah.
Yep, champion the pros and champion the trades. And so, how can we bring the customers together, educate them? I think a lot of our pros don't know all of the different features we have. Because I think
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like even with our franchise partners, it's like we hired recently the field operation manager who have to go to the places and see how the operation goes.
Yeah.
The technicians have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it's like between the franchisor and the franchisee, the owner of the business.
Yeah.
transferring the all information we
All
have.
the knowledge, yeah.
And this franchisee owner, he doesn't deliver the information to the technicians or something.
Yeah, and it's like there's a breakdown somewhere there.
It's like a huge breakdown.
Yeah,
And this is why we decided to avoid the franchisee and connect directly to the
text and train them. Yep.
Dispatchers and everybody else, because they have no idea. They have no instructions. We give it to them. Okay, you have to do a 10 pages
like
of
a checklist.
Simple or like a checklist.
Yeah.
I give them just a 1 page.
Yeah.
You have to do this because I like this. Everything else is just a whole crap.
Yeah, totally. But I think so one of our strategic advantages at Housecall Pro is we're very simple and easy to use, and getting started is really easy. And then as you grow, you can then build in more processes, like making sure you use business units, job types, customer tags, lead sources, service templates, line item templates. Price book is a big one to get set up and dialed in, right? So you can get started really easily, but there's a lot of stuff under the cover that you can configure. All the employee checklist templates. We have HCP Cam now, where you can annotate things and also take video now. We didn't have video before. We're working on a more robust offline upload solution mode and all these different pieces, but you can get really dialed in, and you can really build some great SOPs and templates. But then you still got to get your person to do the thing. You got to teach them, and they got to feel confident. Because I think the biggest thing and the biggest holdup for a lot of home service companies is they don't want to look like idiots in front of the homeowner. Okay. What that means is they don't want to be fumbling or how do I take the credit card? How does this thing, They don't want to look like an idiot, which 100% understand. My biggest tip for them is practice with your spouse, or use a family member as a template, put them in as a customer, and sit at the table both sides. If I click this button, what does it do over there, Ruslan? Oh yeah, that does that there? Okay, now what if I do this? What does it do over there? Oh, that's what it looks like. And so then, hey, let's switch. Okay, now I can see it. So if you experience the things, oh, hit the on my way, what does that do? Oh yeah, so I picture the technician. Okay, and then you can get a feel for what happened. So I would say role play, switch, and see what it all does. Because a lot of pros are just I'm just clicking buttons. And we built Housecall Pro so it'll look really great on the consumer end, but people don't really know what happens when you do this and do this and this and all of a sudden they're like, what just happened here? Or where did the consumer financing pop-up come from? I didn't know that piece.
Don't you feel some contractors, they chose to be a contractor because they are have a limitation of the intellectual, I wouldn't say intellectual ability, but they choose to be contractor to be very simple guys.
Or they're really good with their hands, or really good mechanically inclined.
And they don't want to touch all these things. And some of the guys just, what does my daughter.
Yeah.
Or my son.
Yeah, they'll help me with that.
Or my wife.
Yeah, they'll help me with that piece.
Yeah, and they even have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah. And sometimes that happens too. A lot of our pros, spouses are co-owners with them, or often are out in the field, or manage the business, from the home or garage, wherever they start, or shop. And so we see that a lot, and oftentimes, and depending on age, mostly I would say, is a level of familiarity of all the different things. So Housecall Pro is built in a way that the app doesn't have a lot or all of the things that Housecall Pro has to offer, because it's a small screen, right? You can't fit that much stuff on a small screen. But also because the complexity really lives in the web side. So when you can sit in front of the computer, you can see the screen real estate, there's room to click. And so you'll see in Housecall Pro that there's kind of a difference between the mobile app experience and the web, for obvious reasons, screen size, but also the complexity level. And you can dial in more things, because usually it's the admin or the office manager that's configuring the things. And the technician, you just want to go, okay, just hit on my way, stop, finish. Fill out the checklist, mandatory, because otherwise you can't finish out the job. Collect payment, COD if you can. Credit card on site. We have tap to pay now, mobile check deposit. There's no reason there should be any cash flow kinks. Get the money in the bank ASAP, because that fuels the business, right? And really that's it. If you need to be able to build out estimates that's going to fly, use our templates that we have. You can dial those in to be whatever for most pros, they're on average, my most common thing is the 2.5 ton 13 SEER And then there's a 3-ton, 3.5-ton, 4-ton, but usually it's between 2 to 3.5-ton with this thing, and build that out, build out the package, build out all the extra add-ons, build out the service plan, and then just like build that into the template and just tell them, click this template, boop, and it'll add all the line items, rather than having to like find this line item, find this line item, find it. Too complicated. It's like too much. But that's what I mean is you can do all those things out of the box, pretty easy. But as you start dialing in your business, you start franchising and you start like kind of copy pasting, right? Like having those things dialed in saves so much time. And yeah, our goal is to make sure that our pros know all of those things, because you have to kind of dig a little bit and set it up, spend some time. And you may feel like you're not getting work done, but doing that work saves you this much work, you know, at the end of the day, and that compounds over time.
Do you know someone, or for sure you have to know the companies who are in Housecall Pro, like one location making like a huge amount of money?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think the majority, I would say, of our businesses are doing between $0 to $5 million. Then we have a whole nother bracket kind of between the 5 to 10. Then we have some in the 10 to 20 million bracket. And then there's some that are doing far beyond that, but there's few, like double digits, right? We have 50,000 pros using our software, companies, 200,000 plus users, forget. But yeah, it's one of those curves where it's just like, you know, a huge amount, and then there's very few at the end. But by and large, those really big companies, you know, they're big before they even brought in software, right? They didn't even necessarily grow all the way into that size. They're big and they're like, we need to automate the scheduling, or we need to automate the invoice collection of those pieces, and they really come in and dial that in. But I'd say from that $0 to $10 million a year business across 50 trades, we're the most affordable, most feature rich across all of the things. And that's really where we want to stay. We don't want to discourage people that are much bigger to use it, but if you're at that level, you're probably using our API, you're connecting it to multiple different tool vendors, right? You're using a lot of other tools as well. So, but at that size, you've got people internally in your company working and thinking about those things, right? On the operation side and stitching them together. When you're smaller as the owner, you're thinking about that, but you shouldn't have to, which is why we make it super easy to do all of the things in one place, which is Housecall Pro as it is today.
I still meet people who are still using the paper.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, some of them like making with me the consultation, and they're like, are you serious, or?
Yeah, are you really doing it this way? A majority of our users that come to Housecall Pro every single month are still on pen and paper. The majority, over 50%. And that's thousands of people every single month. And so sometimes they're using like,
this is why these masterminds are like very needed. Because people like really have no idea like what's going on. Because if something like this village, the people know each other, and for them it's no need to run like a CRM system to remember all of these guys, because I gonna go there like 5 p.m. today. Tomorrow I go to the Roland house. And everything is like you can remember. But
how do you do it by head? I have no idea how people do it by head, you know, or without some tool. But you know, some people will have Google Calendar and they'll use like QuickBooks, or they'll use like Joist, or like one of these like, they're more simple like invoicing style apps, but they're not an FSM, right? A field service management app. They're just more like an invoicing app. So there's ways to cobble things together, but you're just limited in the size you can get with a tool like that. Like it's very limiting.
Like a marketing, what are you gonna do tomorrow? What you gonna happen if you're gonna get sick tomorw?
I mean,
what's gonna happen with your like financials of your family? Some people like just my wife figure out.
I mean, it's scary because, you know, when you do have a standing job, if something happens, you can no longer stand. It's messed up. You can't do anything. Sitting job, you know, I can do almost everything I do on my computer now with just voice dictation and AI.
And the other thing, how it is impacting the value of the company as well. The service company.
Down the road, for sure.
It's like one guy who was running for 20 years the company, truck company in San Jose, still using the paper, and he wanted to sell his company.
How? What's the worth? Yeah.
It's like I have like 200
Yeah.
reviews on Yelp or somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, okay, what you gonna sell? What exactly you are selling right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the worth of the value? He said like I want $400,000. I said like for what?
For what? Yeah, totally. No. I mean,
And even he's like P&Ls, and because he said like you know what, I'm 50% on cash, so I have no idea. I can give you my like a breakage on the paper I prepared on Excel.
yeah.
Said, okay.
That's hard. and look, that's why if you do use an FSM, all of your service plans are one place. So there's a value of that because that's like auto billing, credit cards on file, right? Like it's all documented in there. We're working on ACH on file as well, which is gonna be really cool. We just recently released, ACH that can go through a non-Plaid route. Plaid was our vendor there. You're probably like, what is he talking about? You can now just type in the routing number and the account number.
Yeah, well, I know.
Right? Like it makes it super easy. Mobile check deposit, like all those things start to build a history. And so what you're really selling as a business is like the history and the ability to at any point see any customer you've ever had. Now you've got a marketing list, you can market back to them. All those pieces are connected.
Recurring revenue.
Recurring revenue, that's right. That's worth so much more money. Yeah. And so, yeah, we see that a lot, and it's definitely a value prop to using an FSM. It makes it easier to sell your legacy down the road. Or, a lot of our pros are getting calls from private equity companies. Hey, I want to buy your company. Hey, I want to buy your company. Hey, I want to buy your company. Well, you're going to be able to get a much better multiple if you do want to go that path. If it's structured in a way that someone that's maybe a little more modern and technological and numbers based can take a look at things without you having to say, well, half of it's on cash and half of it's over here. It's like, no, Housecall Pro contains all of the data, the full thing. It is your entire book. It knows more than your bank account. And the bank account only is one small piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and I'm sometimes just surprising.
Yeah. How does this
even like the guys in Silicon Valley do the business this way?
But the thing is, because there's so much demand for such little great supply. And so if you're a good enough contractor, you can get by on pen and paper.
Yeah.
And just on word of mouth. Like, you just like someone mentions your name on Nextdoor, you get a couple stars, or recommendations on there. And you, as a one person, you can make a good business just being a one person thing. Not a scalable business. If you get injured, you're in a tough shape.
Yeah.
But
This is why I have ability to sit here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be able to scale.
Someone running there or something.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Roland, we have to just finish this video. What is your message to the contractors to be prepared for the next 5 years?
Sure. My biggest thing is, if you're not feeling uncomfortable where you are, you're not trying hard enough. What I mean by that is, if you feel like you've got everything figured out, then you're in a really bad spot. Because you don't know what you don't know yet, and you thought that you know everything. So you want to be uncomfortable. You want to try to do things that make you even more uncomfortable. You want to try to give up some control of your business. I see pros all the time that are like, I don't want to do online booking. I don't know. I don't want to let someone do an online booking. What happens if it's the wrong location? No, just try it. You're going to figure it out. Be uncomfortable. That's okay. People want to order this way. Guess what? AI agents are going to order this way. Who do you think is going to be ordering things? So, make things that make you comfortable. I don't want to use AI. I don't like robots. I don't like Elon. I don't like blah, 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 blah.
I don't like Sergey trucks.
Yeah, you may not like things, but put yourself in a position where you're always uncomfortable, because that's where you're going to be learning. And then my last point is, there's no failure as long as you're learning. So failure is only permanent if you fail to learn. And so I think that's where, write down your retrospectives. If you screw up, because you will screw up. I promise you will. If your team screws up, whatever it is, take the time and do a look back and write it up on a piece of paper. What happened? Why did it happen? When did it happen? Who did it happen? What am I going to do now? How did I fix it? How will I prevent this from happening in the future? Right? Like that makes you anti-fragile, so that when things break, you become stronger, not weaker. So I think if you can do those things, if you're a pro in the home services space or in life in general, I think those things will help definitely on a business perspective, and also works great from a life perspective too. So I think always put yourself in positions where you're uncomfortable, because there's no growth in comfort, zero. And make sure you're always learning from failure. There's only failure to learn. And if you do those things, I think regardless of what happens with AI, you'll be okay, because you're going to be in a position where at the very least you're going to see things coming and you'll have the opportunity to course correct, versus others that would rather, be the horse, the blinders, only look down the path and just make money until all of a sudden, wait, where'd the path go? Oh, there's no more path. Well, what happened to the path, right? And if you haven't checked out Housecall Pro, I got to promote. You can always text me, 858-215-1512. Send me a text. I'll get it right on my phone. I'd be happy to answer, connect. If you're using another system you're not happy with, or you're not using it to its full potential, or you're using it because someone else is using it and you thought it was a good idea, you can always text me too. We can talk about it.
The many people who connected with Housecall Pro after my videos.
Oh yeah.
It's
definitely.
like,
Yep.
they told in the beginning, you know what, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, this is the one lovely thing in my life right now. It's like my second life or something. That's what I've heard from the people.
Yeah. I'm glad they're saying that, because that means that we're at least doing something right and making sure that they're a champion to success. So if we can help in that path in any way, just feel free to reach out. We're real people. We're recording a podcast on YouTube.
We will see you in the mastermind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're going to do a meetup too, early October, here in the Bay Area. I'll be there, flying some Housecall Pro folks and maybe 50 to 100 pros. Somewhere around there. We'll have a tab open. If you want to come hang out, get some food. I'm going to talk about all the cool things Housecall Pro's working on, show some roadmap stuff. Yeah,
because I can bring my franchises as well.
Cool. Yeah. Perfect. They can come. Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Roland, thank you very much.
That was awesome. Thanks for listening. Yeah.
Amazing, inspirational interview.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys learned something.
Yeah. Hit subscribe, like button, and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye.